So I have my two tables now, and we're just getting into the action. I decided to pick tables that have more regs than typically the other tables, and plus they're the first tables that came out. So here in Watch, we do have a decent amount of history. I'm probably most likely going to bet call here. If he check raises, I'm not really going to give it too much respect. There's really no 5-2 combos in his flatting range, given he flats 9. Excuse me, just under 11% of hands, and he only flats 5%. So his range is very tight for defending there, and so very easy fold. I don't like stealing with unknowns in that spot. And here with the short stack, given how small his stack size is in the other two short stacks, I'm just going to make a very small raise here. And if Lebotch decide, or like, we'll call him like, we'll just call him Leg for now, because I'm awful at pronouncing names, as if you watched my videos in the past. Basically, if he had just 3-bet there, I was definitely going to fold. And so here, this is a close spot. I'm going to fold. In Your Face decides to defend quite a bit here, and my hand just plays awful. And I don't really think about this poker Monstro player. And then obviously here, I'll just be betting fairly large. And obviously not folding into a raise with top set. That's very self-explanatory. I just bet large here just because this board is extremely coordinated. His range should be fairly inelastic for continuing. So I see no reason to bet small to like induce or anything like that. If he has nothing, he's obviously going to fold. By betting small, I don't increase his calling range really. And so it looks like we have a pot here where Pokey Monstro, excuse me, actually decided to bet fold insanely quickly. So I'd like to take a note of that. So it looks like he limp called and then led. So it looks like his leads are weak so far. And so in this spot, this is actually kind of interesting. I am going to opt for a raise just because my hand plays fine against a 3-bet typically, depending on the ranges. And this Pokey Monster, guys, is shaping up to be a weaker player so far. So I don't mind him flatting me in position. And I'm going to mark TJ Saba as unknown. If I'd gotten squeezed in this spot, I would most likely fold just because my hand's going to play very bad against a somewhat wide 3-betting range, which is what King of the Sea typically has in that spot. And here I'm obviously going to be betting. Now the question is, do I call a raise? I'll probably fold given how he played the last hand. And now once we have this action, I think it's definitely best to triple barrel off most likely. I'm not really going to get that many strong hands to fold, but I'll get a lot of pairs to fold by the river. And obviously, I do have equity 1M called in the spot, so I expect to take it down a lot on the turn just in general. And then by the river, I think I have a lot of fold equity. And so, like, this spot isn't the best because he has a lot of Queen 10 and 10-7 in his range, but if he has Naked Jack, he's going to fold here a good percent. So I don't need to make this fairly large. I'm not sure exactly what sizing is best. Probably something like 2850 is probably best. Just trying to get him to fold a pair here. I'm not trying to fold out like 2-pair or anything like that. And he might fold 2-pair there, but until I have reads on him, I'm not going to assume he can fold 2-pair in that spot. And I'm going to mark that spot because that's actually fairly interesting what sizing would be best in the river. But I do like my triple barrel. I'm just not sure what sizing is best in the river. So I'm going to note that just like the last time. Flat CO. I just want to confirm what the actual hand was. Jack 9 3D. Yep. Call 2. And so he's shaping up to be a fairly weak player so far. And so Condelin raises here, and his range is it's actually not that tight from the cutoff. He's the effective cutoff here. So I think this is actually fairly close. Depends on how much I can obviously make this pre. I would get in $20. He'd have roughly 75. I think I prefer flatting given Crazy Loco is shaping up to be a weaker player. And so on this flop, I'm going to lead. I don't really like check calling, and I can put a lot of pressure on Condelin here with this range. He really shouldn't raise my lead too late. And Peanut Man looks like he's shaping up to be a fairly aggressive reg. Although I don't really have any actual history with him so far, and I'm just going to click his session stats so I can actually look at what he's doing this session instead of his general stats, which don't really tell me anything, to be perfectly honest.